The truth is out.
But is it too late? What happens when jealousy turns into betrayal? In this second episode, what follows after Efua's confession is a heartbreaking journey of lies, pain, and forgiveness. This real-life-inspired story, told in simple, powerful language, explores betrayal between friends, the consequences of envy, and the healing power of truth. Please, watch till the end for an emotional twist. Subscribe for more real-life stories. Like, comment, and share to support. It had been 3 quiet weeks since Alma had last seen Efua or Kwesi. Alma had avoided both of them. She'd felt hurt, confused, and even angry at the betrayal she had experienced. Her heart felt as though it had been torn apart, but at least now it was healing, even if it was slowly. Alma had chosen to focus on other things, schoolwork, spending time with her family, and working in the garden. She felt she had no space for love or friendship in her life right now. She wasn't sure she could trust anyone again. One morning, as Alma was helping her mother wash dishes, her phone beeped on the table. She paused, wiping her hands on her dress, and picked it up. It was a message from Efua.
It read,
Alma, I need to tell you the truth. Please meet me at the mango tree today at 4 p.m. I owe you everything. Alma stared at the phone screen, her heart racing. Why was Efua asking to meet her now? After all the lies and hurt, why reach out again? Alma sat down on the wooden bench next to the door. She looked outside, staring at the bright, sunny day. She closed her eyes and thought, should I meet her? Should I hear her out? She had hoped for this moment in a way. She had wanted Efua to apologize. But after everything that had happened, it didn't seem so simple anymore. Alma took a deep breath, then typed a short response. Okay, I will come. Alma was nervous as she made her way to the mango tree. She had passed this spot 100 times before with Efua, laughing and talking, but today, it felt like the world had changed. The sun was low in the sky, and the breeze was gentle, but Alma's heart was heavy. The mango tree stood tall, casting long shadows across the ground. When Alma arrived, she saw Efua sitting quietly on the bench beneath the tree. Efua's head was down, her hands clenched tightly in her lap. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Alma hesitated for a moment, but then, without saying a word, she walked over and sat beside Efua. Neither of them spoke at first. The air between them was thick with unspoken words. Finally, Efua broke the silence, her voice shaky and soft. I don't know where to start, she said quietly, her voice trembling. Alma stayed silent, waiting. She wasn't sure if she was ready to hear the truth, but something inside her told her that this was important. Efua continued, her words coming slowly. I lied to you. I lied to Kwesi. I made up fake messages. I pretended to be someone else. I told Kwesi things that weren't true, and I told you things that weren't true. I did it all because I was jealous of you.
I wanted to take away what you had.
I wanted to destroy your relationship. Alma's heart ached. She felt a tight knot in her throat. This wasn't the apology she had imagined. It felt real, but the pain was still there, deep inside. Efua's eyes filled with tears. I've always been jealous of you, Alma. You're so kind. Everyone loves you. People like you without you even trying. And when Kwesi chose you, I couldn't stand it. I wanted what you had. Alma's eyes watered too, but she stayed quiet, her gaze focused on the ground. Her heart was breaking. This was the last thing she expected to hear. Efua wiped her eyes, then whispered, I'm so sorry. Alma remained silent. There was so much she wanted to say, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, she took a deep breath and asked quietly, Why, Efua? Why didn't you talk to me? Why did you keep it all inside? Efua closed her eyes, as if trying to find the right words. I was scared. I thought that if I told you how I felt, you would hate me. I thought you would leave me, but I couldn't take it anymore. The words hung heavy in the air. Alma wanted to say something, but all she could do was look at Efua, her best friend, the person she had trusted the most. Alma had spent so many nights thinking about this moment. She had dreamed about it, hoping that Efua would apologize, but now that it was happening, It didn't feel as satisfying as she imagined. Alma had trusted Efua with her heart. She had shared everything, the joys, the struggles, and the secrets. They had laughed together, cried together, and promised to always be there for each other. But now it felt like all of that had been a lie. "I loved you like a sister," Alma said softly, her voice filled with hurt. "I trusted you with everything." Efua looked down at the ground, too ashamed to meet Alma's eyes. "I know. That's what makes it worse. I never should have lied to you. I should have been honest with you from the beginning." Alma's heart felt heavy. The weight of betrayal was suffocating her. She wasn't sure what to say next. "I gave you everything," Alma said, her voice shaking. "I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve to be lied to. Not from you, Efua." Tears welled up in Efua's eyes. "I never meant to hurt you. I couldn't control the jealousy. It consumed me." Alma wiped her own eyes. She wasn't sure whether to feel sorry for Efua or to be angry. This wasn't about a boy anymore. This was about the friendship they had, and that was broken beyond repair. "You wanted to destroy what I had," Alma said quietly. "But you didn't just hurt me. You hurt yourself too." Efua nodded. "I know. And now I have nothing." There was silence between them, and it seemed as though time had stopped. Finally, Alma spoke again, her voice calm and steady. "I don't know if I can ever forgive you." Efua nodded slowly. "I understand." After their conversation, Efua reached into her bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "I wrote everything here," she said, her voice trembling. "Every lie, every secret. I want you to know the truth. You can read it, or you can burn it. But I want you to have the truth." Alma took the letter in her hands. She felt a mixture of emotions, anger, sadness, confusion, but she didn't speak. She just took the letter and tucked it carefully into her pocket. Efua stood up slowly, her shoulders slumped with shame. She didn't say anything more. She simply turned and began walking away, each step heavy with regret. Alma watched her go, her heart aching. She stayed under the mango tree for a long time, staring at the empty space where Efua had just stood. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know if she was ready to forgive Efua, but she did know one thing: she needed time to heal. Alma walked home slowly, the weight of the letter in her pocket making her feel like it was too much to carry. She wasn't sure if she was ready to face the truth. Later that night, when the house was quiet, Alma sat on her bed, holding the letter in her hands. She stared at it for a long time, unsure whether to open it. She had always believed in honesty. She had always believed that the truth would set her free. But now, she wasn't so sure. What if reading the letter only made things worse? What if it was too painful to bear? But then, she remembered the pain of betrayal. She needed to know everything, even if it hurt. Taking a deep breath, Alma opened the letter. Alma slowly unfolded the letter. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes scanned the first line. It read, "Dear Alma, I know I have done the worst thing a friend can ever do, but I want to tell you everything, things I never told anyone." Alma read carefully. The words were raw and honest. Efua had written about her childhood, her fears, and how she had always felt like she was second best in everything. "At home, I'm always the one who gets blamed. At school, I was never the best in class. People didn't notice me. But when I met you, everyone liked you. You were confident. You smiled so easily. And then, Kwesi came along. When you and Kwesi started dating, I felt angry. Not at you, but at life. Why you again? Why not me? And then, something dark entered my mind. I started lying to you both." Efua wrote about how she created a fake account on social media. She sent messages pretending to be a girl who had been with Kwesi. She used another friend's phone to call Alma and lie that Kwesi had cheated. "It was all me, Alma. Every voice message, every fake post, every rumor. All from me." Alma's tears fell freely as she read. Her heart was heavy. She never knew how deep Efua's jealousy had gone. She felt like she was reading the diary of a stranger. "I lost both of you, and I deserve it." The letter ended with a line that made Alma pause. I know I cannot be your friend again, but I just wanted you to know the truth before I leave. Leave? Alma wiped her face. Where was Efua going? The next morning, Alma knocked on Efua's house door. Her heart was pounding. Efua's mother opened the door, surprised to see Alma after such a long time. Alma, she said kindly, it's been long. Come in. Please, Ma. Is Efua here? Alma asked softly. Her mother sighed. She left this morning. She packed her things and said she's going to stay with her aunt in Kumasi. She said she needed space. Alma's heart sank. She didn't expect to feel this way, but hearing that Efua was gone made her feel sad. Did she say when she'll come back? Alma asked. No, her mother said. She said it may be for a long time. She's heartbroken, Alma. She cried all night. Alma nodded slowly. Even though Efua had caused her pain, she still cared. Somewhere deep inside, their friendship still meant something. Meanwhile, in his modest room near the church, Kwesi wrestled with his guilt. Since discovering the web of lies spun by Efua, he had lost his way. Every whispered doubt and every manipulated message echoed in his mind, leaving him bereft of the certainty he once had. He sat at his small wooden desk, cradling a faded photograph of Alma. In it, she was smiling, her eyes bright with hope. Kwesi's throat tightened as he recalled all the warm moments they had shared, times when his trust in her was absolute. Now that trust lay shattered by the cunning deceit of Efua. I was such a fool, Kwesi murmured, voice low and regretful. He stared into the distance, as if trying to see a past that no longer existed. How did I let a lie come between us? Unable to contain his remorse, he resolved that he needed to make things right. With a determined heart, he picked up his bag, put on his worn shoes, and set out to find Alma, hoping that time might still mend what had been broken. So he went out and saw Alma. As Alma was walking to the market, she heard someone calling her name. Alma. She turned and saw Kwesi standing at the other side of the street. Alma's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't spoken to him since everything happened. Kwesi crossed the street and stood in front of her. I've been looking for you, he said. I heard what Efua did. I didn't believe it until she confessed to me too. Alma said nothing. She didn't know what to say. I'm sorry for not trusting you, he continued. I should have believed you. I let myself be fooled. He looked into Alma's eyes with an expression that was equal parts sorrow and hope. I was wrong, he began in a halting whisper. I let doubt and those lies come between us. I trusted a voice that was not yours, and I lost sight of your honesty, your kindness. Alma listened silently, her eyes moist but steady. Kwesi continued, I still love you, Alma. I need you to know that despite everything, I want to make things right. I want us to heal. Alma looked at him. She could see the pain in his eyes. He wasn't the same confident boy she used to know. He had been hurt too. Alma stood in silence. Her heart was full of emotions, sadness, anger, confusion, and something else she couldn't name. For a long while, the two stood in silence, a silence filled with memories of better days and the pain of the present. At last, Alma spoke quietly. Love is not enough when trust is broken. I will need time to heal, Kwesi. I must learn to trust again, not just you, but even myself. Kwesi bowed his head. I understand. I will wait as long as it takes. They parted without a hug or an embrace, each carrying their own burden of regret as they went their separate ways. As days turned into weeks, the story of the betrayal spread quietly throughout Cape Town. Neighbors whispered in the corridors of simple homes and under the shade of market stalls. Some expressed pity for Alma, while others muttered disapproval of Efua's actions. The gossip, while never shouted aloud, seeped into every conversation. At the local market, a group of women gathered near a stall of dried fish and plantains. One of them said, "Did you hear about Alma and that terrible fight under the mango tree?" Another replied, "I heard poor Alma never knew how much hurt she could hide behind that gentle smile." Even the young children, when left unsupervised, would mimic the tale in their own simple words, unaware of the deep emotional scars behind it. One evening, Alma sat outside with her grandmother. The old woman watched her quietly. "You've been quiet, Alma," she said. Alma nodded.
So much has happened, Nana.
"I don't know what to do." Her grandmother smiled gently. "The heart is like the earth. When it is wounded, it needs rain to grow again." Alma looked up. "I don't know if I can forgive Efua or Kwesi." "Forgiveness is not for them," Nana said. "It is for you. When you forgive, you set yourself free." Alma closed her eyes. The wind blew gently across the yard. "But how can I forgive when I still feel the pain?" she asked. "You allow yourself to feel it first," Nana replied. "Then you release it, bit by bit. That's how healing begins." Days passed. Alma wrote a letter to Efua, but she didn't send it. In the letter, she poured out her heart. She wrote about the memories they shared, the hurt she felt, and the hope that one day, maybe, they could start again. Not as best friends, but as two people who had grown through pain. She wrote another letter to Kwesi. She told him about her healing journey, how she still remembered his smile, but she needed to love herself first before she could love anyone again. Then she placed both letters in a box and locked them away. Months passed. Alma started smiling again. Not because the pain had disappeared, but because she had grown stronger. She made new friends. She joined a drama club. She even started helping younger girls at her church deal with friendship problems. One day, Alma stood in front of a group of teenage girls and said, "Sometimes, the people we love the most hurt us. But we can choose what we do with the pain. We can hold it, or we can learn from it." They listened in silence. "Don't let one betrayal stop you from believing in love or a friendship," she said. "Let it teach you to choose better. To heal first, then love again." One sunny afternoon, as Alma walked home from church, she got a message on her phone. It was a picture. It showed Efua at a school event in Kumasi. She was standing with her new classmates, smiling gently. Below the photo was a message. "Hi, Alma. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to say thank you for listening, for reading my letter, and for helping me heal, even if from far away." Alma smiled. She replied, "I'm glad you're okay.
Keep growing.
Keep healing." Life moved on. Alma never forgot what happened. She didn't forget the betrayal. But she also didn't forget the growth. She learned that people can change. She learned that pain can make you wiser. And most of all, she learned that loving yourself is the first kind of love that truly matters. She walked on the same road where it all began, stronger, wiser, and free. Even the people closest to us can break our hearts. But with truth, courage, and time, we can grow through pain and become better, not bitter. If you love this story, please like, comment, and subscribe. More real African tales are coming your way. This is African Folktales by Para. Until next time, stay wise, stay strong.